Hey everybody, it's Mitch, and welcome to my next video. Today we have got another Dungeons & Dragons 3.5 video, and today we are going to be doing another Prestige Class description. And today's Prestige Class, from the Complete Warrior, is the Dervish. So, the Dervish is an interesting Prestige class, and we are going to talk about them. We're going to talk about basically what the Dervish is. We're going to talk about what it takes to become a Dervish, and then we're going to talk about what the Dervish gets. And then finally we're going to follow that up with how good the Dervish is and how they could potentially be used in a build, just like we do with every one of our Prestige class videos. So let's get into it. So the Dervish. What is the Dervish? Well, it's a Prestige class that, it's a somewhat nomadic one, but they tend to fight using the art of the dance and slashing weapons. So they combine dancing with the blade in order to create what seems to be unpredictable movements, but that follows a rhythm of their own, and cuts down their foes in the process. They tend to be guards, and yeah, they have a nomadic tribe that there's like nomadic dervish tribes, which is kind of cool. Although occasionally you'll see a dervish set out on its own, but it's rare because they are very big to their tribe. So let's talk about the dervish, what it takes to become a dervish. It's actually pretty simple. It's not too difficult of one to get in, although it is a little feat heavy. So it requires a +5 base attack bonus, not too bad. Requires 3 ranks in both Perform Dance and Tumble, so not terrible. The Perform Dance kind of has some good synergy with the class. So does Tumble, although Tumble's also just a pretty good skill in general. And then for feats, there's a few of them: combat expertise, dodge, mobility, and weapon focus with any slashing weapon. Although scimitar's probably the one you're going to want to go with, as for reasons we'll get into later. So that's what it takes to become a dervish. Fairly simple, fairly straightforward. So with that said, let's get into what you get for becoming a dervish. So a dervish, they get a D10 hit dice, which is pretty good. They get a good base attack bonus. They get a good reflex and will save, but a bad fortitude save, which is kind of strange for a martial build. But you know, this is an interesting little class. And they also get a number of other things. So first off, they get an AC bonus, which starts out as +1, but as they level up, that'll go up to a +3. This is just a nice little dodge bonus to AC that they get whenever, I'm not sure if it's a dodge, but it's just a nice little bonus to AC they get. Yeah, they just get a nice little bonus to AC whenever they're not wielding, they don't have a shield, and they don't have anything too heavy in terms of armor. So no medium or heavy armor, so light armor only. Now they also get Dervish Dance. Now the Dervish Dance is it's kind of their signature thing. So the Dervish Dance, basically, it will let them once a day, although this does go up to 5 times a day by 9th levels, it goes up every odd level, and the bonuses actually go up as it does as well. So the Dervish Dance, it lets you make a standard move, and as you make that standard move, you can make a full attack as you move. The requirements are you have to move at least 5 feet between each attack, which normally you're not allowed to do, but this requires it, and you're not able to backtrack, so you can't go from one square back into that same square. However, you can repeat squares, you just can't do it immediately. Like, you can go from square A to square B, and then from B to C, and then C back to A if you want, by taking a corner somewhere along there. But yeah, you can do that, but you can't go from A to B back to A. No, you gotta go A to B, then C, and then A. That's fine. You just can't go immediately back. When doing that, you also get initially a +1 to your you get a +1 to your attack and damage rolls, which is really nice. Which of course, like I said, that will go up to a +5, which is even better. So they have to be wielding light armor or less. They also have to be wielding no shield, and they must have a slashing weapon of some kind in their primary hand. But that's really all the requirements. Although they do also become, so this does only last for a certain amount of time where they are allowed to do this. If I recall, they can only do it for, I think, a number of rounds, or maybe they can only do it for a short while. So they can perform dervish dance after dervish dance after dervish dance. Well, not really. They can perform one dervish dance, which will last for several rounds. So they can do their dance and for several turns be able to do this attack, which is quite nice. Once it wears off, it does have the downside of you being tired for the rest of the fight, which is problematic, although that does go away as you level up. And also you can go for longer too. So it does start out kind of bad, but it gets much better as you take more levels. You also gain movement mastery, which basically just makes it so that you can take a 10 on all your key skills like tumble and dance and tumble and dance and jump, which is kind of nice. You also get slashing blades, which is this is why I was suggesting earlier that you take a scimitar, because they can treat that as a light weapon rather than a one-handed, so they can dual wield scimitar, which not bad. Now this class doesn't gain any any bonuses for this for dual wielding, and it is a pretty feat intensive to enter. So trying to gain 2-weapon fighting is a bit of a trick, but if you do it, it does have some good synergy. I would recommend, if you're going to go that route, either ranger or fighter. You gain fast movement, so you gain +5 initially, and then you'll eventually get that up to a +15. So that's not bad, getting that movement speed up. You gain the spring attack feat, definitely good. Now at 4th level, you'll also learn Dance of Death, which basically just means you get the cleave feat whenever you're doing your dance. So whenever you're doing your dance, you're able to, and you drop somebody, you're able to make an extra attack, just a single one. This one does not have to be 5 feet away. I don't know if they can or not, but it does say that they don't have to, which is a weird way to phrase it, because cleave normally requires that they not be, whereas the dervish dance requires that they do. This one leaves ambiguous whether or not they have to be or not, but says whether or not you can move 5 feet or not. It says you don't have to, but it doesn't specify for cleave whether you can. So that's a little ambiguous. That one will be up to the DM. You also get improved reaction, which gives you a +2 to initiative. Not bad. No real explanation needed for that. Elaborate parry. Basically, whenever you you fight defensively or do a full defense, you get an extra +4 to AC, which is pretty nice. Just getting that extra bonus to AC. You get tireless dance. So at 9th level, you're able to do your dance without getting tired after, which is definitely nice, not having to deal with being fatigued for the rest of the combat. Although by that point you're able to, do the dance for longer anyways, so that helps. You also get 1,000 cuts at 9th level, at the 10th level, which is really, really nice. That's one of the better things that they get. So with 1,000 cuts, they're able to double the number of attacks that they get. So, which is why dual wielding tends to be better with these guys, because now they're able to, wield 2 weapons. They're able to get twice as many attacks in there. So you could potentially double those 7 attacks that you would get into 14 melee attacks. Now it says that you can get an extra attack with haste, but it doesn't stack, which to me says that it's not doubled. So you could get that up to 15 attacks. but it would not be doubled. Because the wording is really weird. It says a dervish using this ability can receive an extra attack from the haste spell, but the bonuses provided by the spell do not stack with the bonuses granted by this class, which say that the haste attack isn't doubled. So that stinks. But they also, while doing this, they also gain the Great Cleave feat. They can do this with the dance or without it. They can only do this once per day, but yeah, they get the Great Cleave feat, so they're able to take out as many opponents as they can. So if they do combine it with the dance and they're fighting some somewhat weak enemies, they can take out a bunch of them at once by move, attack, move, attack, move, attack, move, attack, and potentially take out several people at once. Like move, attack everything in range, move, attack everything in range, move, attack everything in range. You can get quite a few attacks with this, especially with how fast you can move. Yeah, you can very much get into some pretty crazy situations with this, which is really, really nice, being able to do that. So yeah, like 45-foot movement speed, plus on top of maybe even higher if you have things that enhance that. But yeah, you get all these bonuses to your movement speed, and then on top of that, you're able to, while moving, make an attack every 5 feet that qualifies for a Great Cleave. So yeah, you can potentially take out a lot of things, and initially 14 attacks. So yeah, you can really, really do some stuff with that. Yeah. Of course, the cleave wouldn't stack. The Great Cleave wouldn't stack with the cleave, just because it doesn't make any sense for it to do that. Like, I mean, Great Cleave's already just cleave, but infinite. It's, yeah. So that is a thing with that, but this would be a pretty good build for taking out a lot of weaker enemies. Maybe not the best at dealing with similar leveled characters, but quite potent at taking out armies. So yeah, this is especially with precision. Like when you're trying to take out an army, yeah, fireball, boom, you just use a big old AoE spell and that'll handle it. But what if not everyone there? What if there's a mix of armies in there? What if you have 2 armies collided and you want to take out the enemies but not your side? Fireball's not great for that, because that's going to take out both sides. There's ways around that, but that's kind of hard. The Dervish can just go in and just wipe out all the enemy without taking out their friends. They're quite good at that. So yeah, Dervish, really good prestige class. Is it the best prestige class in the game? No, there's definitely better stuff, but it's quite good at what it's designed to do. It's very much a finesse class. I'd recommend it with a fighter or a ranger. Probably try and get that dual wielding, 2-weapon fighting, be able to use two dervishes, scimitars in your fight. Yeah, quite good all in all. If you guys have anything you want to say about the Dervish, feel free to leave that down below in the comments. I always love hearing from you guys. Respond to every comment. If you enjoyed the video, consider giving it a like, just to show your support, and that really does help out the channel. Maybe subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this, because we do coverage on every single class, prestige class, and race in Dungeons & Dragons 3.5. At least we're working towards that. So definitely don't want to miss the next video. And we do a bunch of other D&D 3.5 stuff as well. Ring that notification bell so you don't ever miss out. But anyways, as always, I'm Mitch, and I'll be seeing you.